What if the next 6 months could become the turning point that changes the direction of your life? Not because of luck, not because everything suddenly becomes easy, but because you finally follow a clear plan that works one day at a time. If you have ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or frustrated by starting over again and again, this audiobook was created for you. Over the next few minutes, you will discover practical habits, simple daily actions, and powerful ways of thinking that can help you build discipline, strengthen your confidence, improve your health, manage your time, develop stronger relationships, and keep growing long after these 6 months are over. Stay with this journey until the end, because the final lessons will show you how to make these changes last for the rest of your life. Your future begins with the decision you make today. Chapter 1. Commit to 6 months of focused personal transformation today. The decision to change your life rarely happens because everything is perfect. It usually happens when you become tired of repeating the same days and getting the same results. There comes a moment when you realize that another year cannot look exactly like the last one. You begin to understand that waiting for the perfect opportunity has never moved you forward. Hoping that tomorrow will somehow be different without changing anything today has never created real progress. This realization is not something to fear. It is the beginning of a new direction. A commitment is different from a wish. Many people wish for a better life. They wish for more confidence. They wish for better health. They wish for financial freedom. They wish for stronger relationships. Wishing requires very little. Commitment requires action, even when excitement disappears. Commitment means choosing the same direction again and again until your daily choices become your new identity. The next 6 months can become one of the most important periods of your life if you decide that every day has a purpose. 6 months is long enough to build habits that last. It is long enough to learn valuable skills. It is long enough to improve your health. It is long enough to strengthen your mind. It is long enough to become someone who handles problems with calm instead of panic. It is long enough to create noticeable change that other people can see and that you can feel every morning when you wake up. The first step is accepting complete responsibility for your life. This does not mean blaming yourself for everything that has happened. Many events are outside your control. People disappoint you. Opportunities disappear. Unexpected problems arrive without warning. Life is not always fair, but your response always belongs to you. Your attitude belongs to you. Your next decision belongs to you. Your effort belongs to you. Once you understand this simple truth, you stop giving your power away. Many people spend years waiting for motivation. They believe they must feel inspired before they begin working. This way of thinking keeps them trapped. Feelings change every day. Some mornings you wake up full of energy. Other mornings you feel tired and discouraged. If your actions depend on your emotions, your progress will always be inconsistent. Success comes from learning to act according to your values instead of your mood. Imagine waking up tomorrow and deciding that your standards matter more than your feelings. You may not feel like exercising, but you exercise anyway. You may not feel like reading, but you read anyway. You may not feel like working on your goals, but you complete your planned task anyway. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your character. Confidence grows because you prove that your words have value. The next 6 months should not become another period filled with impossible goals. Many people fail because they try to change everything at once. They create long lists of new habits. They promise to wake up hours earlier. They decide to stop every unhealthy behavior immediately. They attempt to master several new skills at the same time. After a few difficult days, they become overwhelmed and quit. Real transformation is steady. It grows through consistent actions repeated over many weeks. Start by choosing a small number of priorities. Ask yourself, what areas of your life would create the biggest positive change if they improved? Your health may be the answer. Your finances may need attention. Your discipline may be weak. Your communication may need improvement. Your knowledge may have stopped growing. Whatever your answer is, write it down. Do not choose 10 priorities. Choose 2 or 3. Focus creates progress. A written commitment has power because it removes confusion. Take a notebook and write exactly why these next 6 months matter. Write the person you want to become. Describe your habits. Describe your attitude. Describe the qualities you admire. Read these words every morning. They remind you that your actions have meaning. One of the greatest obstacles to change is the belief that progress must happen quickly. This belief creates frustration. Every meaningful achievement takes time. Muscles grow through repeated training. Knowledge grows through repeated study. Trust grows through repeated honesty. Discipline grows through repeated action. Nothing valuable appears overnight. When you accept this reality, you stop becoming discouraged by slow results. There will be days when you feel that nothing is changing. Continue anyway. Small improvements are often invisible in the beginning. Think about planting a seed. You cannot see its growth immediately, but important work is happening beneath the surface. Your habits work the same way. Every good decision adds another small piece to your future. Create a simple morning routine that prepares your mind before the demands of the day begin. Wake up at a consistent time whenever possible. Drink water. Move your body for a few minutes. Spend time reading something that improves your thinking. Review your written commitment. Plan your most important task. This routine does not need to be complicated. It needs to be consistent. Protect the first hour of your day because it often shapes the hours that follow. If your morning begins with distraction, your attention becomes scattered. If your morning begins with purpose, your decisions become clearer. Guard your focus carefully because attention is one of your most valuable resources. Your environment also influences your success more than many people realize. If your workspace is filled with distractions, your concentration suffers. If unhealthy food surrounds you, healthy eating becomes harder. If every evening is spent with people who encourage excuses, your discipline becomes weaker. You cannot control every part of your environment, but you can improve many parts of it. Clean your workspace. Organize your room. Remove unnecessary distractions. Prepare your meals. Place books where you can easily reach them. Make good decisions easier to repeat. The people around you also shape your thinking. Notice how you feel after spending time with different individuals. Some people encourage growth. They ask thoughtful questions. They support your efforts. They celebrate improvement. Others constantly complain. They criticize every opportunity. They discourage ambition. Protect your mind by choosing your influences carefully. You do not need to reject people with anger. You simply need to spend more time with those who inspire responsibility and less time with those who normalize excuses. During these 6 months, your greatest competition is not another person. Your greatest competition is the version of yourself that chooses comfort over progress. Every day presents small decisions. Sleep a little longer or wake up on time. Scroll through endless entertainment or read 10 pages. Spend money carelessly or save for the future. Avoid difficult conversations or speak honestly with respect. These decisions may seem small, but together they shape your future. Do not underestimate the value of ordinary days. Most success is created on quiet mornings and ordinary afternoons when nobody is watching. There is no applause for choosing discipline. There are no headlines celebrating another completed workout or another hour spent learning. Yet these simple actions create extraordinary results over time. Keep a daily record of your progress. At the end of each day, write 3 things you completed well and 1 thing you can improve tomorrow. This practice teaches honesty without harsh self-criticism. Celebrate effort while remaining committed to growth. Small daily reflection prevents small mistakes from becoming permanent habits. There will be moments when you fail. You will miss a workout. You will waste time. You will become frustrated. You may even question whether this journey is worth continuing. When these moments arrive, remember that failure is not the opposite of progress. Giving up is the opposite of progress. 1 difficult day never defines 6 successful months. Return to your routine immediately. Do not wait for another Monday or another month. Continue with the very next decision. Patience and discipline create a powerful partnership. Patience reminds you that meaningful change requires time. Discipline reminds you to continue even when results are not visible. Together, they create steady progress that lasts. As these 6 months unfold, you will notice changes that go beyond achievement. Your thinking becomes calmer. Your confidence becomes quieter and stronger. You stop seeking approval because your actions begin to speak for themselves. You become someone who keeps promises. You become someone others can depend on because you first learned to depend on yourself. Every evening before you sleep, ask 1 simple question. Did today's actions move me closer to the person I want to become? If the answer is yes, then today was successful, regardless of how difficult it felt. If the answer is no, then tomorrow offers another opportunity to choose differently. Growth is built 1 day at a time. 6 months from now, you will meet the results of the decisions you begin making today. The future version of you is being shaped by ordinary actions that seem small in the present. Choose those actions with care. Choose them with consistency. Choose them even when nobody notices. Your life changes when your daily standards change. This journey begins with 1 decision made today and repeated tomorrow. Continue repeating it until commitment becomes your character. When commitment becomes your character, success is no longer an occasional event. It becomes the natural result of the way you choose to live every single day. Chapter 2. Build clear daily habits that create lasting success. Success is rarely created by 1 extraordinary decision. It is built through ordinary actions repeated so consistently that they eventually become part of who you are. Many people spend years searching for a secret that will completely change their lives. They buy new planners, watch motivational videos, and wait for a moment that fills them with endless energy. Yet the people who achieve meaningful progress usually follow a much simpler path. They build daily habits that support the life they want to create. A habit is a decision that no longer requires much debate. Instead of asking yourself every morning whether you should take care of your health, you simply begin your routine. Instead of wondering whether you should spend time learning, you open your book or begin your lesson. The more often you repeat a useful behavior, the less energy you spend convincing yourself to do it. This creates space for greater focus and better decisions throughout the day. Many people underestimate the value of simple actions because they seem too ordinary. Drinking enough water does not appear life-changing. Reading 10 pages each day does not seem remarkable. Taking a 20-minute walk may not feel like an important achievement. Writing tomorrow's priorities before going to bed seems almost too easy. Yet these simple actions, when practiced every day for months, create a completely different person. The power is not found in 1 day. The power is found in consistency. The first habit to build is beginning each day with intention instead of reaction. Before checking messages, news, or social media, spend a few quiet minutes preparing your mind. Ask yourself what matters most today. Think about the 1 task that will move your life forward. This simple pause helps you begin the day with purpose instead of allowing outside distractions to decide how your attention will be used. Clarity is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. When you know exactly what needs to be done, your mind becomes calmer. Unclear plans create hesitation. Hesitation often becomes procrastination. Before your work begins, write down your 3 most important tasks. Keep the list short enough that it feels realistic. Completing 3 meaningful tasks each day produces far better results than creating a list of 20 items that remain unfinished. Your habits should match the person you are trying to become. If you want to become healthier, your daily schedule should include movement and nutritious meals. If you want to become financially stronger, your routine should include saving money and learning valuable skills. If you want to become wiser, your day should include reading, thinking, and reflecting. Your future identity grows from today's repeated choices. Avoid making your habits so difficult that they become easy to abandon. If you have never exercised regularly, do not promise yourself 2 hours every day. Begin with 20 minutes. If reading has not been part of your routine, start with 10 pages instead of an entire book. Small victories build confidence. Confidence encourages consistency. Consistency creates lasting change. One helpful practice is connecting a new habit to something you already do every day. After brushing your teeth, spend 5 minutes reviewing your goals. After eating breakfast, read a few pages of a book. After returning home from work, change into comfortable clothes and begin your exercise session before sitting down. These simple connections reduce the need for constant decision-making because each habit naturally leads into the next. Your surroundings also influence your routines more than you may realize. Make your environment support the life you want to build. Keep healthy food where it is easy to reach. Place your notebook on your desk instead of inside a drawer. Keep your workout clothes ready before you go to sleep. Remove unnecessary distractions from the place where you work. Good habits become easier when your environment encourages them. Discipline becomes much simpler when you reduce unnecessary choices. Every decision uses mental energy. If you spend the morning deciding what to wear, what to eat, when to begin working, and whether you should exercise, your motivation slowly decreases. Planning these details ahead of time allows your energy to be used for meaningful work instead of endless small decisions. One habit that many successful people practice is finishing what they start. In today's world, distractions appear every few minutes. A message arrives, a notification appears, a new idea interrupts your concentration. Training yourself to complete one important task before moving to another strengthens your ability to focus. Even 30 uninterrupted minutes of deep work can produce remarkable progress when repeated consistently. Rest should also become part of your routine. Many people confuse constant activity with productivity. They work without breaks until their energy disappears. Their thinking becomes slower, mistakes increase, and frustration grows. Productive people understand that recovery is part of progress. Short breaks, proper sleep, and moments of quiet reflection help your mind perform at its best. Pay attention to the quality of your evenings because they often determine the quality of your mornings. Staying awake late without purpose makes it harder to wake up with energy. Instead, create a calming evening routine. Reduce unnecessary screen time before bed. Reflect on what went well during the day. Prepare for tomorrow by organizing your workspace and writing your priorities. Ending the day with order helps you begin the next day with confidence. Do not expect every day to feel perfect. Some mornings will be filled with energy, others will feel heavy. Your habits should continue regardless of temporary emotions. Feelings change quickly. Well-established routines provide stability even during difficult seasons. This is one of the greatest strengths of discipline. It protects your progress when motivation becomes unreliable. There will be moments when you miss a habit. One missed day is not a failure. It is simply a reminder to begin again. Avoid turning one mistake into a week of inaction. The quicker you return to your routine, the stronger your commitment becomes. Progress is measured by your ability to recover, not by achieving perfection. Keep track of your habits in a simple notebook or calendar. Each completed day becomes visible evidence of your commitment. Watching your progress grow creates satisfaction because you can clearly see the effort you have invested. More importantly, tracking helps you notice patterns. You may discover that certain days create more distractions or that specific routines help you remain consistent. This awareness allows you to improve your system instead of relying on guesswork. Remember that habits should serve your life rather than control it. Stay flexible when unexpected responsibilities appear. Missing one workout because a family member needs your help does not erase your progress. What matters is returning to your routine as soon as possible. Discipline includes wisdom. It is not about following a schedule without thought. It is about staying faithful to your long-term direction while handling life's responsibilities with maturity. One powerful daily habit is taking a few minutes to learn from your experiences. At the end of each day, ask yourself simple questions. What decision helped me move forward today? What challenge taught me something useful? What can I improve tomorrow? Honest reflection transforms ordinary experiences into valuable lessons. Without reflection, the same mistakes often repeat themselves. Another habit worth building is expressing gratitude through action rather than words alone. Appreciate your opportunities by using them well. Appreciate your health by taking care of your body. Appreciate your relationships by giving people your attention and respect. Gratitude becomes meaningful when it influences your daily behavior. Protect your attention carefully. Modern life constantly competes for your focus. Endless scrolling, unnecessary notifications, and constant entertainment can quietly consume hours without providing lasting value. Set clear limits for activities that distract you from your priorities. Use technology as a helpful tool rather than allowing it to become the master of your time. As your habits become stronger, you will notice changes that extend beyond your schedule. Your confidence grows because you trust yourself. Your mind becomes calmer because important tasks are no longer delayed. Your decisions become clearer because your values guide your actions. People around you may notice your consistency before they notice your achievements. This quiet reliability becomes one of your greatest strengths. The next 6 months are not about becoming perfect. They are about becoming dependable. A dependable person continues learning, working, improving, and adjusting without needing constant praise or excitement. That steady approach creates results that last far longer than temporary bursts of motivation. Every sunrise offers another opportunity to strengthen the habits that support the life you want to build. Every completed routine is a vote for the person you are becoming. Continue making those votes every day. Some will seem small, others will require determination. Together they create a foundation that remains strong through both success and difficulty. In time, the habits that once required effort will become part of your character, and lasting success will no longer depend on occasional inspiration. It will grow naturally from the disciplined way you choose to live each day. Chapter 3. Eliminate excuses and strengthen self-discipline every single day. Every meaningful achievement begins with a choice that most people never notice. It is the choice between accepting an excuse and accepting responsibility. This decision happens quietly, often several times each day. It happens when the alarm rings in the morning. It happens when an important task feels difficult. It happens when a mistake is made. It happens when progress seems slower than expected. These moments may appear ordinary, but they shape the direction of your life far more than rare moments of inspiration. Excuses often sound reasonable. They rarely announce themselves as barriers. Instead, they arrive wearing the appearance of logic. You may tell yourself that today is not the right day to begin. You may believe that you need better conditions, more confidence, additional knowledge, or more free time. These thoughts can feel convincing because they contain a small amount of truth. Better conditions would certainly make many things easier. More confidence would feel helpful. Extra time would remove pressure. Yet waiting for perfect circumstances usually delays growth instead of creating it. Self-discipline begins the moment you stop asking whether the conditions are ideal and start asking what can be done with the conditions that already exist. This shift changes your perspective completely. Instead of focusing on what is missing, your attention moves toward what is available. Even on difficult days, there is almost always one useful action you can take. That single action becomes the bridge between intention and progress. Many people imagine discipline as something harsh or uncomfortable. They picture constant struggle and endless sacrifice. In reality, discipline is one of the greatest forms of self-respect. It is the decision to act in ways that benefit your future instead of giving complete control to temporary emotions. Every disciplined choice is a quiet statement that your long-term well-being matters more than short-term comfort. Consider how often small decisions shape an ordinary day. You decide whether to leave your bed when the alarm sounds or remain under the blanket for another half hour. You decide whether to prepare a nutritious meal or choose whatever is easiest. You decide whether to complete an important assignment before checking entertainment. None of these moments receive attention from other people. No audience is watching. Yet, these private decisions gradually become public results. One helpful exercise is learning to recognize your most common excuses. Write them on a piece of paper exactly as they appear in your thoughts. You may notice statements such as, "I will start next week," "I am too tired," "I do not know enough yet," or "I have already failed before." Seeing these excuses written down removes much of their influence. They become ideas that can be questioned instead of beliefs that automatically control your actions. Once you identify an excuse, answer it with a practical response. If your excuse is that you have no time, examine your daily schedule honestly. Even 15 focused minutes can be used to read, exercise, practice a skill, or organize your priorities. If your excuse is lack of confidence, remember that confidence usually grows after action rather than before it. If your excuse is fear of failure, remind yourself that improvement depends on repeated practice, not immediate perfection. Self-discipline becomes stronger when you reduce unnecessary negotiations with yourself. Every time you repeatedly debate whether to complete a task, you spend valuable mental energy. Instead, create simple personal rules. Decide that you always begin your most important work before checking social media. Decide that you always review tomorrow's priorities before sleeping. Decide that you exercise on scheduled days, regardless of whether you feel enthusiastic. These rules remove uncertainty and make good decisions easier to repeat. Another important lesson is understanding the difference between discomfort and danger. Many worthwhile activities feel uncomfortable in the beginning. Learning a new skill can feel frustrating. Speaking in front of others may create nervousness. Saving money instead of making unnecessary purchases may require patience. These experiences are uncomfortable, but they are not harmful. Growth often begins where comfort ends. Your inner dialogue also deserves careful attention. The words you repeatedly say to yourself influence your behavior. If you constantly describe yourself as lazy, unlucky, or incapable, your actions will gradually reflect those beliefs. Replace harsh labels with honest observations. Instead of saying that you lack discipline, acknowledge that your discipline is still developing. Instead of saying that you always fail, recognize that you are still learning better methods. This approach encourages responsibility without damaging self-respect. There will be moments when you make mistakes despite your best efforts. Perhaps you miss an important deadline. Perhaps you lose focus for several days. Perhaps you return to an old habit you hoped to leave behind. These situations do not erase your progress. What matters most is the speed of your recovery. Strong self-discipline is not measured by avoiding every mistake. It is measured by returning to the right path without creating new excuses. One practical strategy is preparing for difficult moments before they arrive. Think about the situations that usually weaken your commitment. You may lose focus when you become tired. You may overspend when you feel stressed. You may avoid important conversations because they feel uncomfortable. Create a simple plan for each situation. If you know evenings are difficult, prepare your next day's priorities before dinner. If stress leads to unhealthy choices, replace that habit with a short walk or quiet reflection. Planning ahead reduces the influence of emotion during challenging moments. It is also helpful to separate your identity from temporary setbacks. A poor decision does not define your character. One unproductive afternoon does not determine your future. Your identity is shaped by the direction you repeatedly choose over time. Continue making decisions that match the person you want to become, even after an imperfect day. Patience plays an important role in strengthening discipline. Many people expect immediate rewards from their efforts. They exercise for 1 week and expect dramatic physical changes. They study for a few days and expect complete mastery. They save money for 1 month and expect financial freedom. Real progress develops gradually. Every worthwhile skill improves through repetition. Every meaningful achievement grows through consistent effort over an extended period. Avoid comparing your journey with someone else's visible success. You rarely see the years of preparation behind another person's achievements. Comparing your beginning to someone else's advanced stage creates unnecessary discouragement. Focus instead on becoming slightly better than you were yesterday. That comparison remains honest, useful, and completely within your control. Build habits that support your discipline automatically. Prepare your workspace before beginning an important project. Turn off unnecessary notifications while working. Place your phone out of reach during periods of deep concentration. Lay out your exercise clothes the night before. These simple adjustments reduce temptation and help your environment support your goals instead of competing with them. Accountability can also strengthen your commitment. Share an important goal with someone you trust. Choose a person who values honesty rather than comfort. Ask them to check your progress regularly. Knowing that someone will ask about your actions encourages greater consistency. Accountability is not about pressure. It is about creating another reason to remain faithful to your commitments. Every evening, spend a few quiet minutes reviewing your day. Identify one decision that reflected discipline and one situation that could be handled better tomorrow. Keep your observations factual rather than emotional. This habit trains your mind to notice patterns. Over time, you will become quicker at recognizing situations where excuses usually appear, allowing you to respond with greater wisdom. Discipline also requires balance. Working without rest eventually reduces your effectiveness. Caring for your health is not a distraction from success. It supports success. Adequate sleep, regular movement, proper nutrition, and meaningful relationships provide the physical and emotional strength needed to continue making wise decisions. Taking care of yourself increases your ability to take care of your responsibilities. As these daily practices become familiar, you will notice changes that extend far beyond productivity. Your promises begin to carry greater weight because you consistently keep them. Your confidence becomes quieter and more genuine because it is built on evidence instead of wishful thinking. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming become manageable because you have developed the habit of responding with action instead of avoidance. One day you will look back and realize that your life did not change because of one extraordinary opportunity. It changed because ordinary moments were handled differently. You chose responsibility when excuses seemed easier. You chose preparation instead of delay. You chose steady effort instead of waiting for perfect motivation. Those choices, repeated day after day, formed a stronger character capable of handling greater opportunities. Self-discipline is not a talent reserved for a few fortunate people. It is a skill developed through daily practice. Every decision you make today becomes another opportunity to strengthen that skill. Continue choosing actions that reflect your values. Continue honoring the commitments you make to yourself. Continue moving forward with patience, honesty, and determination. Over time, excuses lose their influence. Discipline becomes part of your identity, and your future begins to reflect the quiet strength you have built one day at a time. Chapter 4. Develop a resilient mindset through consistent, purposeful action. Life does not become easier simply because you decide to improve yourself. In many ways, the moment you commit to meaningful growth is the moment you begin noticing challenges more clearly. Difficult conversations still happen. Unexpected expenses still appear. Plans sometimes fail despite careful preparation. People may misunderstand your intentions. Circumstances may change without warning. A resilient mindset is not built by avoiding these experiences. It is built by learning how to respond to them with calm thinking, steady action, and unwavering purpose. Resilience is often misunderstood. Some believe it means pretending that nothing hurts. Others believe it means never feeling discouraged or disappointed. Real resilience is different. It allows you to recognize disappointment without allowing it to control your future decisions. It allows you to experience frustration without abandoning your values. It gives you the ability to continue moving forward even when the road becomes uncomfortable. Every challenge presents two opportunities. One opportunity is to react without thinking. The other is to pause, observe the situation honestly, and choose a response that reflects the person you are becoming. The pause may last only a few seconds, but it is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. During that brief moment, you reclaim control over your actions instead of allowing emotions to make every decision. Purpose gives resilience its strength. When your actions are connected to a meaningful reason, temporary obstacles lose much of their power. A person who exercises only when it feels enjoyable will often stop when life becomes busy. A person who exercises because they want the energy to care for their family or serve others has a stronger reason to continue. The activity remains the same, but the purpose behind it creates greater endurance. Spend time defining your personal reasons for improvement. Ask yourself why you want to become more disciplined, healthier, wiser, or financially responsible. Continue asking why until you reach an answer that feels deeply personal. Surface-level reasons often disappear under pressure. Meaningful reasons remain steady because they are connected to your values rather than temporary excitement. One helpful practice is learning to separate facts from assumptions. Imagine receiving unexpected criticism at work. The fact may be that someone disagreed with your approach. The assumption may be that you are incapable or that your future is ruined. These assumptions create unnecessary suffering because they are not supported by evidence. Resilient people train themselves to respond to facts instead of becoming trapped by imagined conclusions. This habit of clear thinking becomes especially important during setbacks. A single mistake does not define your ability. A rejected application does not determine your worth. One unsuccessful project does not predict every future outcome. Each event contains information that can help you improve, but only if you examine it with honesty instead of fear. Purposeful action begins with asking one simple question whenever difficulties appear. What is the next useful step? This question shifts your attention away from everything you cannot control and toward the small area where your influence still exists. Perhaps the next step is making an important phone call. Perhaps it is reviewing your plan. Perhaps it is apologizing for a mistake or asking for guidance. Progress often begins with one clear action rather than one perfect solution. Many people lose valuable time because they wait until they understand every detail before moving forward. Preparation is important, but endless preparation can become another form of delay. At some point, learning must be followed by action. Experience teaches lessons that books alone cannot provide. Every attempt, whether successful or unsuccessful, increases your understanding of what works and what needs adjustment. A resilient mind also learns to welcome constructive feedback. Honest feedback is not an attack on your character. It is information that can strengthen your abilities if you receive it with humility. Listen carefully when trusted people point out areas for improvement. Resist the urge to defend every decision immediately. Sometimes the greatest progress begins with a willingness to admit that another perspective contains valuable insight. There will be seasons when your effort produces slower results than expected. During these periods, it is easy to question whether your work matters. Continue planting good actions, even when visible rewards have not yet appeared. Skills improve quietly before they become obvious. Character develops through repeated choices that often go unnoticed. Trust the process of consistent effort rather than demanding immediate proof of success. Protect your attention during difficult seasons. Negative news, constant comparison, and unnecessary conflict can slowly weaken your emotional energy. This does not mean ignoring reality. It means choosing carefully what deserves your focus. Spend more time learning, creating, solving problems, and strengthening relationships than consuming information that leaves you discouraged without providing useful direction. Another important part of resilience is accepting that uncertainty is part of life. You cannot predict every outcome or prevent every disappointment. Attempting to control everything often creates unnecessary anxiety. Instead, prepare well, act responsibly, and remain flexible enough to adapt when circumstances change. Flexibility is not weakness. It is one of the clearest signs of inner strength. Purposeful action also requires courage to make decisions even when certainty is impossible. Every worthwhile opportunity involves some degree of risk. Changing careers, starting a business, learning a new skill, or building healthier relationships all require stepping into situations where the outcome cannot be guaranteed. Waiting until every uncertainty disappears usually means waiting forever. Wise decisions are based on thoughtful preparation, not perfect certainty. Your daily routines become powerful tools for strengthening resilience. Continue reading even when progress feels slow. Continue practicing important skills even after making mistakes. Continue caring for your health during stressful periods. These routines remind you that your identity is shaped by consistent choices rather than temporary circumstances. One valuable habit is keeping a record of challenges you have already overcome. Write down situations that once seemed impossible but eventually became manageable. Include what you learned from each experience. Reviewing this record during difficult moments reminds you that you have already faced uncertainty before and developed greater strength because of it. Your past victories become evidence that future problems can also be handled with wisdom and patience. Gratitude also supports resilience in practical ways. It does not remove problems, but it broadens your perspective. Even during demanding periods, there are usually resources, relationships, skills, or opportunities that remain available. Taking a few moments each day to recognize these blessings prevents your attention from becoming completely consumed by what is going wrong. A balanced perspective allows better decisions. Strong relationships provide another source of resilience. Independence is valuable, but no one grows entirely alone. Surround yourself with people who encourage responsibility, honesty, and continued improvement. Seek conversations that challenge your thinking instead of simply confirming your existing opinions. Offer the same encouragement in return. Mutual support strengthens everyone involved. Purposeful living also requires regular evaluation. Every few weeks, review your direction. Ask yourself whether your daily actions still match your deepest priorities. Small adjustments made consistently prevent larger problems later. Success is not only about working harder, it is also about ensuring your effort is moving in the right direction. Do not fear difficult seasons. Some of life's greatest lessons appear during periods when progress feels uncertain. Patience becomes stronger when results take time. Wisdom grows through experience. Compassion increases after personal struggle. Confidence becomes more genuine when it is built through overcoming real challenges instead of avoiding them. Resilience is revealed through ordinary responses. It appears when you remain respectful during disagreement. It appears when you complete your responsibilities despite disappointment. It appears when you admit mistakes honestly and immediately begin correcting them. These moments rarely receive public recognition, yet they shape the quality of your character more than dramatic achievements. As you continue this 6-month journey, remember that lasting strength is developed gradually. Each thoughtful decision strengthens your judgment. Each responsible action increases your confidence. Each challenge handled with patience expands your ability to face the next one. You are not simply pursuing external success. You are building an inner foundation that remains steady regardless of changing circumstances. Continue choosing purposeful action over unnecessary worry. Continue responding thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Continue learning from every experience without allowing setbacks to define your future. With every passing week, your resilience will become less about enduring hardship and more about living with quiet confidence, clear values, and the steady determination to keep moving forward no matter what life places before you. Chapter 5. Improve your health to increase energy and confidence. Your body is the foundation that supports every goal you want to achieve. Every plan, every dream, every responsibility, and every opportunity depends on the energy you bring into each day. Many people spend years searching for better strategies to improve their careers, finances, or relationships, while overlooking the one resource that influences every area of life. That resource is their health. When your body feels strong, your mind becomes clearer. When your energy improves, your ability to make good decisions also improves. Taking care of your health is not a reward you give yourself after becoming successful. It is one of the reasons success becomes possible. Think about the difference between beginning a morning with energy and beginning it already feeling exhausted. On one morning, you wake up refreshed. Your thoughts are organized. You complete important work with focus. You speak patiently with others. You finish the day feeling satisfied. On another morning, you wake up tired. Every task feels heavier than it should. Small problems seem larger than they really are. You become impatient more easily. Your attention moves from one distraction to another. The difference between these 2 days often begins long before the morning arrives. It begins with the choices made consistently over time. Health is not only about avoiding illness, it is about creating a body and mind that allow you to live with strength, clarity, and purpose. Good health gives you the ability to think carefully during stressful situations, remain productive during demanding seasons, and continue serving the people who depend on you. When your physical well-being improves, confidence often follows naturally because you know you are caring for one of your greatest responsibilities. Many people make the mistake of believing that improving health requires dramatic changes. They imagine strict routines that feel impossible to maintain. They attempt to change everything at once, only to become discouraged after a short period. Lasting improvement usually comes from small choices repeated consistently. The goal is not to create the perfect routine overnight. The goal is to build a way of living that you can maintain for months and years. Begin by paying attention to your sleep. Sleep is often treated as something that can be sacrificed without consequences. In reality, quality sleep influences your concentration, emotional balance, memory, and physical recovery. When sleep becomes inconsistent, even simple responsibilities may feel more difficult than they should. Try to go to bed and wake up at similar times whenever possible. Create a peaceful environment before sleeping. Reduce unnecessary screen time during the final hour of your evening. Give your mind an opportunity to become calm before the next day begins. Food also deserves thoughtful attention. Every meal becomes fuel for your body. Instead of thinking only about taste or convenience, ask yourself whether your next meal supports the life you want to build. Nutritious foods provide steady energy that helps you remain focused throughout the day. Fresh vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean sources of protein, healthy fats, and enough water create a strong foundation for both physical and mental performance. This does not require perfection. It requires awareness. Every healthy choice becomes another investment in your future. Hydration is one of the simplest habits to improve, yet many people overlook it. Even mild dehydration can reduce concentration and increase feelings of fatigue. Keep water nearby throughout your day. Drink regularly instead of waiting until you feel extremely thirsty. This small habit requires little effort but supports many important functions within your body. Movement should become a regular part of your daily life, not because someone else expects it, but because your body was designed to move. Exercise is not only about changing your appearance, it strengthens your heart, improves endurance, supports healthy muscles, increases flexibility, and helps reduce stress. You do not need expensive equipment or complicated programs to begin. A brisk walk, body weight exercises, stretching, cycling, swimming, or any activity you enjoy can make a meaningful difference when practiced consistently. Choose activities that fit your current level of fitness rather than comparing yourself with others. Someone who has not exercised for years should not expect to perform like an experienced athlete during the first week. Respect your starting point. Improvement becomes possible when you focus on steady progress instead of unrealistic expectations. Your breathing also deserves attention. During stressful moments, many people breathe quickly and shallowly without realizing it. Taking slow, controlled breaths for a few minutes can help calm your mind and reduce unnecessary tension. This simple practice can be used before important meetings, difficult conversations, or moments of uncertainty. Learning to control your breathing helps you respond more thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Mental health and physical health work together. Constant worry, unresolved anger, and overwhelming stress eventually affect your body as well as your thoughts. Pay attention to the emotional burdens you carry. Speak honestly with trusted people when needed. Spend time in quiet reflection. Write your thoughts in a journal if that helps you understand them more clearly. Caring for your emotional well-being is not a sign of weakness. It is part of maintaining a healthy and balanced life. Another valuable practice is spending time outdoors whenever possible. Fresh air, natural light, and a change of environment can improve both your mood and your ability to concentrate. Even a short walk outside during a busy day provides your mind with an opportunity to reset. These simple moments often improve creativity and reduce feelings of mental fatigue. Pay attention to how your body responds to different habits. Notice which foods leave you feeling energetic and which make you feel sluggish. Observe how exercise affects your mood. Recognize how proper rest improves your patience and decision-making. Becoming aware of these connections helps you make wiser choices without needing constant reminders from others. Avoid treating your body harshly because of unrealistic expectations. Real health is not about chasing perfection or comparing yourself with images you see online. Every person's journey is different. Focus on becoming healthier than you were last month, rather than trying to match someone else's appearance or progress. Sustainable improvement comes from consistency, not comparison. Confidence grows in unexpected ways when you take care of your health. You begin trusting yourself because you follow through on daily commitments. You notice that difficult tasks feel more manageable. You speak with greater assurance because you know you are respecting yourself through your actions. This confidence is quiet and genuine because it comes from experience rather than external approval. Your daily schedule should include time for recovery as well as productivity. Many ambitious people believe every hour must be filled with work. Eventually, exhaustion reduces both performance and creativity. Recovery allows your body and mind to rebuild. Reading, walking, spending time with family, enjoying meaningful conversations, or simply sitting quietly for a few minutes can restore your energy in healthy ways. One important lesson is learning to recognize early signs of fatigue instead of ignoring them. Constant irritability, lack of concentration, ongoing exhaustion, and reduced motivation may indicate that your body needs better care. Paying attention to these signals allows you to make adjustments before small problems become larger ones. Another practical habit is preparing for success before your day begins. Pack a healthy lunch if you will be away from home. Keep nutritious snacks available so you are less likely to make impulsive choices when hunger appears. Schedule exercise as you would any important appointment. Prepare your clothing or equipment in advance. Small preparations reduce unnecessary obstacles and make healthy decisions easier to follow. As your health improves, you may notice changes beyond physical strength. You recover from busy days more quickly. Your attention remains steady for longer periods. You become more patient with family members and co-workers. Your thinking becomes clearer during important decisions. Your emotional balance improves because your body is receiving the care it needs to perform well. These benefits extend into every area of life. Remember that progress is rarely measured by one perfect day. It is measured by hundreds of ordinary days when you continue making thoughtful choices. There will be celebrations, holidays, travel, and unexpected challenges. Flexibility is part of a healthy lifestyle. Returning to your routine after interruptions matters far more than expecting yourself to maintain perfection every single day. Treat your body with gratitude rather than criticism. It carries you through every responsibility, every challenge, every opportunity, and every meaningful moment. Caring for it is an act of responsibility, not vanity. Each healthy meal, each walk, each good night's sleep, each glass of water, and each moment of movement is another decision that supports the future you are working to create. As the weeks become months, these daily choices begin to transform your life in quiet but powerful ways. You no longer depend entirely on temporary motivation because your routines support your goals automatically. Your energy allows you to contribute more fully to your work and your relationships. Your confidence grows because your actions demonstrate respect for yourself. Strong health becomes more than a personal benefit. It becomes a resource that allows you to serve others with greater patience, greater focus, and greater strength. The journey toward better health is not about achieving a perfect body. It is about building a stronger life. Every healthy decision sends a clear message that your future matters. Continue making those decisions with consistency, patience, and purpose. Over time, your body will reward your effort with greater energy. Your mind will reward your discipline with clearer thinking, and your life will reflect the quiet strength that comes from taking care of yourself one day at a time. Chapter 6. Master your time with intentional daily planning habits. Time is the one resource every person receives in equal measure each day, yet the results people achieve with it are remarkably different. No one can store extra hours for tomorrow, borrow additional minutes from next week, or recover a day that has already passed. Every sunrise brings a new opportunity, and every sunset quietly closes another chapter that can never be rewritten. Understanding this simple truth changes the way you approach each day. Instead of asking how to find more time, you begin asking how to use the time you already have with greater intention. Many people believe they have a time problem when they actually have a priority problem. They fill their schedules with urgent activities but leave little room for meaningful progress. Days become busy without becoming productive. At the end of the week, they feel exhausted, yet struggle to identify what truly moved their lives forward. This cycle continues because activity alone is often mistaken for achievement. Intentional planning begins with deciding what deserves your attention before the day begins. Without a clear plan, your schedule will often be shaped by interruptions, requests from other people, and distractions that appear without warning. When you begin the morning already knowing your most important responsibilities, your attention has a direction. Decisions become simpler because your priorities have already been established. One of the most valuable habits you can develop is planning the next day before the current one ends. Spend 10 or 15 quiet minutes each evening reviewing your responsibilities. Write down the tasks that matter most. Estimate how much time each one may require. Consider possible challenges that could interrupt your progress, and think about how you will respond if they appear. This simple preparation allows your mind to begin the next day with clarity instead of confusion. Not every task deserves the same level of attention. Some activities create meaningful progress, while others simply keep you occupied. Learn to distinguish between what is important and what is merely urgent. An unexpected phone call may demand immediate attention, but developing valuable skills, improving your health, strengthening relationships, and working toward long-term goals often require deliberate scheduling because they rarely announce themselves as emergencies. Begin each day by identifying one task that would make the greatest positive difference if completed. Protect time for this work before moving to less significant responsibilities. Completing your highest priority early creates momentum and reduces the stress that comes from postponing meaningful work until the end of the day. Avoid the habit of constantly switching between tasks. Every time your attention moves from one activity to another, your mind requires time to regain focus. Frequent interruptions reduce both the quality and speed of your work. Whenever possible, group similar tasks together. Respond to emails during a specific period instead of checking them every few minutes. Make phone calls during one block of time. Complete administrative work together. This approach allows your attention to remain focused for longer periods. Many people underestimate the value of protecting quiet time. Deep thinking requires space free from constant interruption. Whether you are writing, studying, solving problems, or making important decisions, uninterrupted concentration often produces results that scattered attention cannot achieve. Create periods during your day when unnecessary notifications are turned off and distractions are minimized. Even 1 hour of focused work can accomplish more than several hours of divided attention. Learning to say no respectfully is another essential part of managing your time. Every commitment you accept requires time, energy, and attention. If you agree to every request, you may discover that your own priorities receive whatever time remains, which is often very little. Declining unnecessary commitments is not selfish when done with kindness and honesty. It is a way of protecting the responsibilities that matter most. Your calendar should reflect your values. If personal growth is important, schedule time for learning. If family matters deeply, reserve uninterrupted moments for meaningful conversations and shared experiences. If health is a priority, treat exercise and rest as important appointments rather than optional activities. What appears on your schedule reveals what you are consistently choosing to value. Unexpected situations will always arise. Meetings may take longer than expected. Family responsibilities may change your plans. Emergencies may require immediate attention. Effective planning does not eliminate flexibility. Instead, it creates enough structure that adjustments can be made without losing sight of your overall direction. Leave small spaces between major tasks whenever possible. These moments provide room for unexpected events without causing your entire schedule to collapse. One practical method for improving your daily planning is estimating how long activities actually take. Many people believe a project will require 1 hour when it realistically needs 3. As a result, unfinished work accumulates and frustration increases. Observe your routines honestly. Over time, you will develop more accurate expectations, making your plans more realistic and less stressful. Pay attention to the periods when your energy is naturally highest. Some people think most clearly early in the morning. Others become more productive during the afternoon. Schedule demanding work during the hours when your concentration is strongest. Reserve simpler tasks for times when your energy naturally decreases. Matching important work with your strongest periods improves both quality and efficiency. Another valuable habit is limiting unnecessary decisions throughout the day. Every decision, no matter how small, uses mental energy. Preparing clothes the night before, organizing your workspace, planning meals, and arranging important materials in advance all reduce decision fatigue. These small preparations allow more attention to remain available for meaningful thinking and important responsibilities. Review your progress regularly instead of waiting until the end of the month. At the close of each day, ask yourself whether your actions matched your priorities. If something remained unfinished, determine why without criticizing yourself. Did you underestimate the time required? Did unexpected events appear? Did distractions consume more attention than expected? Honest evaluation leads to better planning tomorrow. Technology can either strengthen your productivity or quietly consume your attention. Use digital tools with intention rather than habit. Calendars, reminders, and task management applications can help organize responsibilities. At the same time, endless notifications, unnecessary browsing, and constant entertainment can slowly remove hours from your day without providing lasting value. Decide when technology serves your goals and when it begins controlling your attention. Waiting is another opportunity often overlooked. Time spent in a waiting room, standing in line, or traveling can become useful if planned wisely. Carry a book, review notes, listen to educational material, or quietly reflect on upcoming decisions. Small pockets of time, when used consistently, add up to significant progress over many months. Planning should also include moments for rest and renewal. A schedule filled from morning until night without recovery eventually reduces creativity, patience, and clear thinking. Balance allows consistent performance over long periods. Short breaks during demanding work, enjoyable conversations with loved ones, time spent outdoors, and proper sleep all contribute to sustained productivity. Caring for your energy is part of managing your time wisely. Avoid measuring success only by the number of completed tasks. Some responsibilities require thoughtful attention rather than speed. Reading carefully, making important decisions, mentoring someone, or solving a complex problem may take longer than expected. Yet these activities often create greater long-term value than completing many small tasks quickly. Perfection is not required for effective planning. Some days will not unfold as expected, despite your best preparation. Plans may change because life is unpredictable. What matters is your willingness to adjust calmly instead of abandoning your direction completely. Every evening offers another opportunity to prepare wisely for tomorrow. One of the greatest benefits of intentional planning is reduced mental clutter. When important responsibilities are written down, your mind no longer needs to constantly remember every detail. This creates greater peace because you trust your system rather than relying only on memory. Clear plans free your attention for deeper thinking and more meaningful conversations. As weeks pass, you may notice changes that extend beyond productivity. You become more dependable because you honor your commitments consistently. Stress decreases because fewer responsibilities are left until the last moment. Confidence grows because you know your days are being guided by thoughtful decisions rather than constant reaction. People begin to trust your reliability because your actions demonstrate careful preparation. Remember that every meaningful accomplishment is built one day at a time. A successful career, a healthy family, financial stability, personal wisdom, and strong character all grow through thousands of well-used hours. The future is not created during one extraordinary day. It is shaped by ordinary days managed with intention and care. Each morning presents 24 hours that cannot be replaced. Treat those hours with respect. Plan them carefully. Use them purposefully. Protect them from unnecessary distractions. Invest them in activities that reflect your deepest values. As your planning becomes more intentional, you will discover that mastering your time is not about controlling every minute. It is about making thoughtful choices that consistently move your life toward the person you are determined to become. Chapter 7. Strengthen valuable relationships through honesty, respect, and consistency. No meaningful success is built alone. Every person you become is shaped, in part, by the relationships you build, the conversations you have, and the way you treat the people around you. Skills may open opportunities, discipline may help you achieve goals, and knowledge may solve difficult problems. But the quality of your relationships often determines how fulfilling your life becomes. A person may accomplish impressive things, yet still feel isolated if trust, kindness, and genuine connection are missing. For this reason, learning how to build strong relationships deserves the same attention as learning any professional or personal skill. Strong relationships are not created through occasional grand gestures. They are built through small actions repeated consistently over time. A thoughtful message, a promise that is kept, a conversation where someone feels truly heard, or a simple act of reliability often strengthens trust more than expensive gifts or dramatic displays of affection. People remember how they consistently feel around you. They remember whether they feel respected, understood, and valued. Honesty is the first foundation of every lasting relationship. Honest communication creates security because people know they can trust your words. This does not mean speaking without kindness or expressing every thought without consideration. Honest communication combines truth with respect. It means saying what is necessary in a way that protects dignity instead of creating unnecessary harm. Many people avoid honest conversations because they fear conflict. They remain silent when problems appear, hoping that time alone will solve them. Unfortunately, small misunderstandings often become larger problems when they remain unspoken. Addressing concerns early with patience and calm discussion usually prevents resentment from growing. Honest conversations may feel uncomfortable for a short time, but they often protect relationships over the long term. Listening is one of the greatest expressions of respect. In many conversations, people are already preparing their next response before the other person has finished speaking. Genuine listening requires something different. It requires full attention. It means allowing someone to complete their thoughts without interruption. It means asking thoughtful questions instead of making quick assumptions. People often feel valued not because someone solved their problem immediately, but because someone truly listened without judgment. Respect also appears in the way you respond to differences of opinion. No two people will agree on everything. Different experiences naturally create different perspectives. Mature relationships allow room for respectful disagreement without turning every conversation into a competition. You do not have to win every discussion. Sometimes understanding another person's viewpoint is more valuable than proving your own. Reliability quietly strengthens every relationship. When you consistently arrive on time, keep your promises, complete your responsibilities, and follow through on your commitments, people begin to trust not only your words, but also your character. Reliability cannot be created in one impressive moment. It grows through repeated actions that demonstrate consistency over weeks, months, and years. One important habit is giving people your full presence. Modern life offers endless distractions. Phones vibrate, notifications appear, thoughts about unfinished work compete for attention. Yet few gifts are more meaningful than making another person feel that they have your complete focus during a conversation. Looking someone in the eye, listening carefully, and responding thoughtfully communicate respect without requiring many words. Every relationship also benefits from appreciation. Many people quietly assume that others already know they are valued. While appreciation may be understood, expressing it strengthens connection. Thank people sincerely for their effort. Acknowledge their support. Recognize their kindness. Genuine appreciation encourages healthy relationships because people naturally respond well when their contributions are noticed. Learning to apologize sincerely is another sign of emotional maturity. Everyone makes mistakes. Words are spoken carelessly. Important details are forgotten. Expectations are sometimes misunderstood. A sincere apology accepts responsibility without making excuses or shifting blame. It focuses on repairing trust instead of protecting pride. Admitting mistakes honestly often strengthens relationships because it demonstrates humility and integrity. Forgiveness also plays an important role. Holding on to every disappointment creates emotional weight that eventually affects both you and your relationships. Forgiveness does not always mean forgetting what happened or ignoring harmful behavior. It means choosing not to allow bitterness to control your future. Sometimes forgiveness leads to rebuilding trust. Other times, it simply allows you to move forward with peace while maintaining healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries deserve careful attention as well. Respecting others does not require saying yes to every request. Your time, energy, and emotional well-being have value. Clearly communicating your limits with kindness prevents resentment and supports healthier interactions. Boundaries are not walls designed to push people away. They are guidelines that help relationships remain respectful and balanced. Consistency often matters more than intensity. A friend who checks in regularly creates stronger connection than someone who appears only during special occasions. A family member who offers steady encouragement throughout the year often has greater influence than one dramatic conversation. Small, dependable acts of care accumulate over time and become the foundation of lasting trust. Practice becoming curious instead of judgmental. Every person carries experiences that are invisible to others. Someone who seems impatient may be facing challenges you know nothing about. Someone who appears distant may be carrying emotional pain. Choosing curiosity encourages compassion. Instead of quickly forming conclusions, ask questions with genuine interest. Understanding often begins when assumptions end. Another valuable practice is learning how to manage disagreements without attacking another person's character. Focus on the specific issue rather than making personal accusations. Speak calmly even when emotions are strong. Give the other person an opportunity to explain their perspective. Many conflicts become easier to resolve when both people feel respected throughout the conversation. Your actions influence others more than your advice. Children observe how adults handle frustration. Friends notice whether your words match your behavior. Colleagues remember whether you remain dependable during difficult projects. Living according to your values quietly inspires others because consistent actions often communicate more clearly than long speeches. Generosity strengthens relationships in many forms. It includes offering encouragement, sharing knowledge, giving your time, celebrating another person's achievements, and supporting someone during difficult moments. True generosity is not measured by the size of the gift, but by the sincerity of the intention behind it. Avoid the habit of comparing your relationships with those of other people. Every friendship, marriage, family, and professional partnership develops at its own pace. Comparing your private experiences with someone else's public image often creates unrealistic expectations. Focus instead on improving the quality of your own interactions, one conversation at a time. Trust grows slowly, but can be weakened quickly. For this reason, protect confidential conversations, avoid unnecessary gossip, and speak about others with fairness, whether they are present or absent. Integrity remains consistent regardless of who is listening. People naturally feel safer around those whose character remains steady in every situation. Remember that communication includes more than words. Your tone of voice, facial expressions, patience, punctuality, and willingness to help all communicate important messages. Small habits, such as greeting people warmly, expressing gratitude, or remembering meaningful details about someone's life, demonstrate genuine care in ways that require little effort but create lasting impressions. Some relationships naturally change over time. People move, careers develop, responsibilities increase, and life introduces new seasons. Accepting these changes with maturity allows you to appreciate relationships without trying to force them to remain exactly as they once were. Continue investing in people who encourage honesty, growth, kindness, and mutual respect. One helpful evening habit is reflecting on your interactions throughout the day. Ask yourself whether you listened carefully, spoke respectfully, fulfilled your commitments, and treated others with patience. If you recognize an area that needs improvement, make a simple plan to handle tomorrow's conversations more thoughtfully. Small adjustments made consistently strengthen your character as well as your relationships. The quality of your relationships often reflects the quality of your daily choices. Choosing honesty instead of convenience, patience instead of irritation, understanding instead of assumption, and consistency instead of occasional effort gradually builds connections that withstand challenges. These choices rarely attract public attention, yet they shape the people who will stand beside you during both success and difficulty. As your 6-month journey continues, remember that every meaningful goal becomes more rewarding when shared with trustworthy people. Success has greater value when celebrated together. Difficult seasons become easier when experienced with supportive companions. Continue becoming the kind of person who listens carefully, speaks truthfully, acts consistently, and treats every individual with dignity. Over time, you will discover that the strongest relationships are not built through perfect moments, but through thousands of ordinary moments handled with honesty, respect, patience, and genuine care. Chapter 8. Overcome setbacks by learning, adapting, and moving forward confidently. Every meaningful journey includes moments that test your determination. No matter how carefully you plan or how hard you work, there will be days when the outcome does not match your expectations. A project may fail despite your preparation. An opportunity may disappear without warning. Someone may reject an idea you believed in. A goal that seemed close may suddenly feel distant again. These experiences are part of every life that pursues growth. The difference between those who continue progressing and those who remain stuck is rarely the absence of setbacks. The difference is how they respond after those setbacks appear. Many people believe that confidence comes before taking action. They wait until they feel certain before making important decisions or trying something new. In reality, lasting confidence is usually built after facing uncertainty and discovering that you are capable of handling it. Confidence grows through experience. Every challenge you face honestly becomes evidence that you are stronger and more capable than you previously believed. When something goes wrong, your first response often determines the direction of everything that follows. Some people immediately blame themselves. Others blame circumstances or other people. Neither response creates progress. A more helpful approach begins with observation. Pause before reacting. Ask yourself what actually happened. Separate the facts from the emotions surrounding them. This simple habit allows you to think clearly before deciding what to do next. One of the greatest advantages of calm thinking is that it turns problems into opportunities for learning. Every setback contains information. A failed interview may reveal skills that need further development. A business mistake may expose weaknesses in planning. A disagreement may show the importance of clearer communication. Looking for lessons does not erase disappointment, but it ensures that the experience provides value instead of becoming wasted time. Growth requires the willingness to adapt. Imagine trying to travel to a destination while refusing to change direction, even after discovering that the road is blocked. Progress would become impossible. Life works in much the same way. Sometimes your original plan needs adjustment. Adapting is not the same as giving up. It is the ability to remain committed to your purpose while remaining flexible about the methods you use to reach it. Avoid attaching your identity to a single outcome. If one project does not succeed, it does not mean you are incapable. If one application is rejected, it does not determine your future. If one conversation goes poorly, it does not define your ability to build meaningful relationships. Your worth is not measured by one event. It is reflected in your willingness to continue learning, improving, and acting with integrity. Another important lesson is understanding that disappointment and defeat are not the same thing. Disappointment is an emotional response to an unwanted outcome. Defeat becomes permanent only when you decide to stop trying altogether. Feeling discouraged after a setback is completely natural. Remaining there indefinitely is a choice. Give yourself permission to acknowledge difficult emotions, then gradually direct your attention toward the next constructive step. One practical exercise is conducting an honest review after every significant setback. Write down what happened without exaggeration or self-criticism. Identify what was within your control and what was outside your control. Consider what worked well and what should be done differently next time. Finish by writing one specific action you will take because of what you learned. This process transforms difficult experiences into valuable education. Patience becomes especially important during periods of recovery. Some setbacks cannot be overcome immediately. Financial challenges may require months of careful planning. Learning a new skill after repeated mistakes may take longer than expected. Healing damaged trust may require consistent effort over time. Accept that meaningful recovery often happens gradually. Impatience can tempt you to abandon good decisions before they have enough time to produce results. Another valuable habit is maintaining perspective. When something goes wrong, the mind often magnifies the problem. It may begin imagining that one setback will affect every area of life forever. Instead of allowing your thoughts to race ahead, return your attention to the present moment. Ask yourself, what can realistically be done today? Small, thoughtful actions often reduce overwhelming situations into manageable challenges. There is also wisdom in recognizing when you need guidance. Seeking advice is not a sign of weakness. It is a demonstration of maturity. Speak with people who have experience, integrity, and practical knowledge. Listen carefully to their suggestions. Their perspective may reveal solutions you had not considered because you were too close to the problem. Learning from others often shortens the time needed to recover and improve. Many setbacks occur because expectations are unrealistic rather than because effort is insufficient. Sometimes people expect immediate mastery, instant financial success, or perfect results from their first attempt. These expectations create unnecessary disappointment. Replace unrealistic standards with steady improvement. Measure progress by the quality of your learning, your consistency, and your willingness to continue rather than by demanding immediate perfection. Protect your mindset during challenging periods. The people you spend time with influence how you interpret setbacks. Some individuals encourage responsibility, hope, and practical action. Others reinforce negativity and convince you that improvement is impossible. Choose conversations that strengthen your determination instead of weakening it. Positive influence does not ignore reality. It helps you respond to reality with wisdom and courage. Your daily routines become especially important after disappointment. Continue waking up at a consistent time. Continue exercising, reading, learning, and completing your responsibilities. Familiar routines create stability when emotions feel uncertain. They remind you that one setback does not require abandoning every healthy habit you have worked to build. One overlooked lesson is the importance of celebrating recovery rather than only celebrating victory. Completing your first important task after a difficult week deserves recognition. Returning to a healthy routine after losing motivation is meaningful progress. Speaking confidently again after experiencing rejection demonstrates growth. These moments may appear small, but they reveal increasing resilience and deserve appreciation. Another useful practice is expanding your definition of success. Success is not limited to receiving awards, promotions, or financial rewards. Success also includes becoming more patient, more disciplined, more honest, and more capable of handling pressure with calm thinking. These qualities continue benefiting you long after individual achievements have been forgotten. Courage does not require the absence of fear. Courage is choosing to move forward even while uncertainty remains. Every meaningful opportunity contains some level of risk. Waiting until every fear disappears may prevent you from pursuing valuable experiences. Instead, prepare carefully, act responsibly, and trust that your ability to adapt will continue growing through experience. It is also important to avoid carrying unnecessary regret. Everyone can identify decisions they wish they had handled differently. While honest reflection is valuable, endless regret serves little purpose if it does not lead to wiser future choices. Learn what you can from yesterday, then return your attention to today's responsibilities. The present remains the only place where meaningful action can occur. As you continue progressing, you will notice that your relationship with setbacks begins to change. Situations that once felt overwhelming become opportunities to practice patience and problem solving. You become less concerned with avoiding every mistake and more interested in responding wisely when mistakes occur. This shift creates emotional freedom because you no longer depend on perfect circumstances to maintain your sense of purpose. Remember that every person you admire has faced moments of uncertainty, disappointment, and unexpected difficulty. Their achievements were not created by avoiding challenges, but by refusing to let those challenges become permanent obstacles. They adjusted their methods, improved their skills, accepted responsibility where necessary, and continued moving forward with determination. One day you may look back at a setback that once caused great frustration and realize it redirected your life towards something even more meaningful. The experience may have strengthened your judgment, increased your humility, or revealed abilities you never knew you possessed. While no one seeks hardship for its own sake, many valuable qualities are developed because hardship required them. Continue approaching every challenge with curiosity rather than fear. Ask what the experience can teach you. Look for practical improvements instead of dwelling on disappointment. Keep your values steady even when circumstances become uncertain. Adapt when necessary without losing sight of your long-term purpose. Every thoughtful adjustment increases your ability to face future obstacles with greater confidence. Your journey will never be defined by the number of setbacks you experience. It will be defined by the number of times you choose to rise again with greater wisdom, clearer judgment, and stronger determination. Every challenge handled with patience becomes part of your education. Every lesson applied becomes part of your character. Every step taken after disappointment proves that progress belongs to those who continue moving forward, one thoughtful decision at a time. Chapter 9. Expand your skills through continuous learning and daily practice. The person you are today is built from everything you have learned, practiced, questioned, and experienced throughout your life. The person you become over the next year will be shaped by what you choose to learn starting today. Every new skill changes the way you solve problems. Every useful piece of knowledge expands the number of opportunities you can recognize. Every hour spent improving your abilities becomes an investment that continues to produce value long after that hour has passed. Many people believe learning ends when formal education is complete. They think knowledge belongs only in classrooms, training programs, or professional certifications. Real growth follows a different path. The most successful learners understand that education is not a stage of life. It is a lifelong habit. Every conversation, every book, every challenge, every mistake, and every experience contains lessons for those who remain curious enough to notice them. One of the greatest advantages you can develop is becoming someone who enjoys learning for its own sake. When learning is driven only by external rewards, motivation often disappears after the reward has been achieved. However, when you genuinely value understanding new ideas and improving your abilities, learning becomes part of your identity rather than another item on your schedule. This mindset creates continuous growth because curiosity naturally leads to consistent action. The first step is deciding which skills will have the greatest positive influence on your future. Time is limited, so your attention should be directed toward abilities that improve multiple areas of life. Communication, problem-solving, financial understanding, emotional awareness, critical thinking, leadership, organization, and technical knowledge are examples of skills that continue creating opportunities throughout life. Instead of trying to learn everything at once, choose one area that deserves your full attention during the coming weeks. A clear learning goal provides direction. Rather than saying you want to become better at communication, define exactly what improvement means. You may decide to become more confident during presentations, improve your listening skills, or express your ideas more clearly in writing. Specific goals make progress easier to measure because you know exactly what you are working toward. Daily practice is where knowledge becomes ability. Reading about a skill is valuable, but understanding grows much faster when information is applied. If you are learning a language, speak it every day. If you are improving your writing, write regularly instead of waiting for inspiration. If you want stronger communication skills, participate in conversations that challenge you to express yourself clearly. Practice transforms information into experience, and experience creates lasting confidence. Many people avoid practicing because they fear making mistakes. They want their first attempt to be impressive. This expectation often prevents meaningful progress. Every expert once produced imperfect work. Every experienced speaker once felt nervous. Every skilled professional once lacked experience. Mistakes are not evidence that learning is failing. They are evidence that learning is happening. Each correction brings you one step closer to mastery. One practical strategy is dividing large goals into smaller learning sessions. Instead of studying for several hours once each week, dedicate a shorter period every day. Regular contact with a skill strengthens memory and keeps improvement moving forward. Even 30 focused minutes of learning each day can create remarkable results over several months when used consistently. Create an environment that encourages learning. Keep books where you can easily reach them. Organize your study materials so beginning requires little effort. Reduce unnecessary distractions during learning sessions. If possible, choose a quiet place where your attention can remain fully engaged. Your surroundings influence your ability to concentrate more than you may realize. Learning becomes more meaningful when you ask questions instead of simply accepting information. Ask why something works. Ask how it can be improved. Ask how the lesson applies to your own life. Curiosity transforms passive reading into active understanding. It encourages deeper thinking and helps ideas remain in your memory for much longer. Teach what you learn whenever possible. Explaining a concept to another person reveals how well you truly understand it. If something feels difficult to explain clearly, it often indicates that further study is needed. Teaching also benefits others, creating a cycle where knowledge becomes shared rather than hidden. You do not need to become an expert before helping someone understand a useful idea. Seek feedback from people with greater experience. Honest guidance shortens the learning process because it highlights weaknesses you may not notice on your own. Accept constructive criticism with gratitude rather than defensiveness. Feedback is one of the fastest ways to improve because it provides information that self-evaluation sometimes misses. Avoid comparing your progress with someone who has been practicing for many years. Every learner begins at a different point and develops at a different pace. Your focus should remain on your own improvement. Compare today's abilities with those you had last month. Notice the areas where your understanding has grown. Small improvements become highly motivating when you recognize them consistently. Another valuable habit is keeping a learning journal. After each study session, write down the most important lesson you discovered. Record questions that still need answers. Note practical ways to apply what you have learned during the coming days. This simple practice strengthens memory because writing requires you to organize your thoughts clearly. Reading deserves a permanent place in your daily routine. Books allow you to learn from the experiences, research, and insights of people who have spent years developing their understanding. Choose books that challenge your thinking rather than only confirming what you already believe. Read slowly enough to understand important ideas instead of rushing through pages simply to finish quickly. Learning also takes place through observation. Pay attention to people who consistently perform well in areas you wish to improve. Notice how they communicate, organize their work, solve problems, or remain calm under pressure. Observation provides practical lessons that may never appear in a textbook. Every capable person becomes an opportunity to learn if you watch with curiosity and humility. Be willing to leave your comfort zone regularly. Growth rarely happens when every task feels familiar. Choose projects that stretch your current abilities. Volunteer for responsibilities that require learning new skills. Participate in discussions that encourage careful thinking. Each new experience expands your confidence because it demonstrates that you are capable of adapting. Protect your learning time with the same seriousness you would protect an important appointment. Many people postpone personal development because urgent responsibilities appear every day. If learning is never scheduled, it often becomes the first activity to disappear when life becomes busy. Reserve specific periods each week for reading, practicing, studying, or reflecting. Consistency matters more than intensity. Technology offers valuable learning opportunities when used wisely. Educational courses, lectures, documentaries, and professional resources are more accessible than ever before. At the same time, endless entertainment can quietly consume the very hours that could have been invested in meaningful improvement. Choose digital resources intentionally. Let technology become a tool for growth instead of a distraction from it. Patience remains essential throughout the learning process. Some concepts require repeated study before they become clear. Some skills improve gradually despite steady effort. Resist the temptation to abandon your goal simply because progress feels slow. Every meaningful ability develops through repetition, reflection, and continued practice over time. Remember that learning extends beyond professional success. Developing empathy helps you understand others more deeply. Improving communication strengthens relationships. Expanding financial knowledge increases stability. Learning about health supports better daily choices. Gaining emotional awareness improves your responses during difficult situations. Every useful skill contributes to a richer and more capable life. Celebrate progress without becoming satisfied with comfort. Recognize how far you have come while remaining open to further growth. There is always another lesson to explore, another perspective to understand, and another ability waiting to be developed. This attitude keeps your mind active and your character flexible throughout every stage of life. As your knowledge expands, your confidence changes in meaningful ways. Instead of depending on luck, you begin trusting your preparation. Instead of fearing unfamiliar situations, you approach them with curiosity because you know you have developed the ability to learn and adapt. Confidence built through continuous learning remains steady because it is supported by genuine competence rather than temporary enthusiasm. One day you may discover that the opportunities now available to you are the direct result of countless quiet hours spent reading, practicing, observing, asking questions, and applying what you learned. Those ordinary moments of study will have gradually transformed the way you think, communicate, solve problems, and contribute to the lives of others. Never assume that you have reached the point where further learning is unnecessary. The world continues changing. New ideas continue emerging. Better methods continue being discovered. Staying curious keeps your mind flexible and your abilities relevant. Continue investing in yourself with patience and discipline. Every page you read, every skill you practice, every thoughtful question you ask, and every lesson you apply becomes another step toward a wiser, stronger, and more capable version of yourself. Over time, your greatest advantage will not be a single talent or achievement. It will be your lifelong commitment to learning, growing, and becoming better than you were yesterday. Chapter 10. Sustain lifelong growth by reviewing progress and raising standards. 6 months can transform a life, but the greatest achievement is not reaching the end of a plan. The greatest achievement is becoming the kind of person who continues growing long after the original goal has been completed. Temporary motivation can help you begin. Consistent action can carry you through difficult seasons. Lasting transformation, however, depends on your ability to keep learning, improving, and raising your standards year after year. Real success is not a destination you eventually reach. It is a way of living that continues to evolve with every season of life. As you look back on the progress you have made, take a moment to appreciate how much can change through steady effort. Perhaps your routines have become stronger. Perhaps your thinking has become calmer. You may communicate more effectively, manage your time more wisely, or approach challenges with greater confidence. Some improvements may be visible to others, while many remain known only to you. Both forms of progress matter because they represent choices made consistently over time. One mistake many people make after reaching an important goal is assuming the work is complete. They stop paying attention to the habits that created their success. Gradually, old routines return, discipline weakens, and progress begins moving in the opposite direction. Growth requires maintenance just as much as it requires effort. The habits that helped you improve should continue even after you begin experiencing positive results. Regular self-review is one of the most valuable practices you can develop. Without reflection, it becomes difficult to recognize what is working well and what needs adjustment. Reflection is not about criticizing yourself. It is about observing your life honestly so you can continue making wise decisions. A few quiet moments spent reviewing your progress each week can prevent months of drifting away from your priorities. Choose a consistent time for personal review. Some people prefer Sunday evenings. Others choose the final day of each month. The specific day matters less than the consistency of the habit. During this time, examine different areas of your life with honesty. Consider your physical health, emotional well-being, relationships, financial habits, personal development, and contribution to others. Ask yourself whether your daily actions still reflect the values you claim are most important. Instead of asking only whether you achieved your goals, ask deeper questions. Did you become more patient during difficult conversations? Did you remain honest when honesty was uncomfortable? Did you handle disappointment with maturity? Did your decisions reflect wisdom instead of impulse? These questions measure character rather than external achievement, and character remains valuable regardless of changing circumstances. Keep written records of your observations. A notebook dedicated to personal growth becomes a powerful reminder of how far you have come. Record important lessons, successful habits, unexpected challenges, and meaningful insights. Looking back after several months often reveals progress that daily life can easily hide. You begin noticing patterns that would otherwise remain invisible. Do not become comfortable with yesterday's standards simply because they produced good results. Every stage of growth introduces new opportunities to improve. If reading 10 pages each day has become easy, perhaps it is time to study more challenging material. If your financial habits have improved, perhaps you can begin learning about long-term investing or charitable giving. If communication has become stronger, perhaps you can mentor someone who would benefit from your experience. Raising your standards is not about becoming dissatisfied with yourself. It is about recognizing that your potential continues expanding. There is an important difference between raising standards and chasing perfection. Perfection demands flawless performance and often creates unnecessary pressure. Higher standards encourage continuous improvement while accepting that mistakes remain part of the learning process. Your goal is not to become perfect. Your goal is to become more intentional, more capable, and more consistent than you were before. Celebrate achievements thoughtfully without allowing success to create complacency. Take time to recognize important milestones. Appreciate the discipline that brought you to this point. Share your gratitude with those who supported your journey. Then quietly return your attention to the next meaningful challenge. Satisfaction with progress should never become an excuse to stop growing. As your abilities increase, your responsibilities often increase as well. Greater knowledge creates greater opportunities to help others. The lessons you have learned through effort, discipline, and persistence may become exactly what another person needs to hear. Teaching, mentoring, encouraging, and supporting others deepen your own understanding while creating positive influence beyond your own life. Another valuable habit is reviewing your environment regularly. Circumstances change over time. New distractions appear, responsibilities shift, relationships evolve. Ask yourself whether your surroundings continue supporting the life you want to build. Organize your workspace if it has become cluttered. Remove habits that quietly waste valuable time. Introduce new resources that encourage continued learning. Small adjustments made consistently help maintain long-term momentum. Remember that every season of life teaches different lessons. Early adulthood may focus on building discipline and career skills. Later years may emphasize leadership, wisdom, family, or service. Stay open to changing priorities while remaining faithful to your core values. Flexibility allows growth to continue without losing direction. There will be periods when progress seems slower than before. This is completely natural. Improvement rarely follows a perfectly straight path. Sometimes growth becomes less visible because your attention shifts toward refining existing strengths instead of making dramatic changes. Continue trusting the process during these quieter seasons. Consistency remains valuable even when immediate results appear smaller. Protect yourself from the temptation to compare your progress with the achievements of others. Every person's circumstances, responsibilities, opportunities, and challenges are different. Comparing your life with someone else's visible success often creates unnecessary frustration. Instead, compare your present character with the person you were 6 months or 1 year ago. That comparison provides meaningful evidence of genuine growth. One important question to ask regularly is whether your goals still align with your deepest values. Sometimes people continue pursuing ambitions they no longer truly desire simply because those goals were established years earlier. Maturity includes recognizing when a goal needs adjustment. Changing direction thoughtfully is not failure if it brings your actions closer to what truly matters. Gratitude should remain part of every stage of growth. Appreciating your progress does not reduce ambition. Instead, gratitude creates emotional balance. It reminds you that every lesson, opportunity, supportive relationship, and personal breakthrough has contributed to the person you are becoming. Gratitude encourages humility because it recognizes that no one succeeds entirely alone. Continue protecting your physical and emotional well-being as your responsibilities increase. Greater success should never come at the cost of neglecting your health, family, or personal integrity. Sustainable growth requires balance. Your achievements become more meaningful when they are supported by a healthy body, a clear mind, and strong relationships. Be willing to release habits that no longer serve your development. Some routines remain useful only for a particular season. As your life changes, your systems may also need refinement. Periodically ask yourself whether your current habits still support your highest priorities. If they do, strengthen them. If they do not, replace them with better ones. One powerful practice is choosing a personal theme for each new season of life. Rather than trying to improve everything simultaneously, dedicate focused attention to one important quality. You may spend several months strengthening patience, improving communication, expanding leadership, deepening financial wisdom, or becoming more generous with your time. Focused improvement often creates deeper transformation than attempting to pursue too many objectives at once. Another important reminder is that setbacks may still occur even after years of progress. New challenges will appear because life continues changing. The difference is that you now possess stronger habits, clearer thinking, greater resilience, and more practical experience. Instead of fearing future difficulties, trust the character you have developed. The person who consistently learns, reflects, and adapts becomes increasingly capable of handling whatever lies ahead. The journey of personal growth is ultimately about becoming someone whose actions consistently reflect their values. Success is measured not only by what you accomplish, but by the kind of person you become while pursuing those accomplishments. Integrity, humility, patience, responsibility, generosity, and wisdom cannot be purchased or inherited. They are developed through thousands of ordinary decisions made with intention. As this 6-month journey reaches its conclusion, remember that the calendar does not determine your transformation. Your daily choices do. Every morning offers another opportunity to practice the habits you have developed. Every conversation allows you to demonstrate the character you have strengthened. Every challenge invites you to apply the wisdom you have gained. Every success reminds you to remain humble and continue learning. Imagine yourself several years from now. Picture a life built upon steady discipline rather than temporary excitement. Picture relationships strengthened by honesty and respect. Picture work completed with excellence because careful preparation has become natural. Picture a mind that remains calm during uncertainty because experience has taught you how to think before reacting. Picture a person who continues seeking knowledge with curiosity and shares that knowledge generously with others. That future is not created by one extraordinary moment. It is created through countless ordinary days lived with purpose. Never stop asking how you can become more thoughtful, more dependable, more compassionate, and more capable. Continue reviewing your actions honestly. Continue raising your standards with patience rather than pressure. Continue choosing long-term character over short-term comfort. If you remain faithful to these principles, growth will never become something you did for 6 months. It will become the lifelong path that shapes every chapter still waiting to be written. Every sunrise will offer another opportunity to live with greater wisdom, greater purpose, and greater integrity. That is the true measure of lasting success, and it is a journey that can continue for the rest of your life.